Night had fully settled in by the time Raheel reached the street outside the old railway station. His breath came out in sharp bursts as he tried to steady himself. His hands were still shaking, part from fear, part from confusion, part from the sudden disappearance of the masked stranger. He stared at the black mask in his hand. Cold. Lightweight. And now drenched in dust. A bullet shell lay beside it, gleaming faintly under a street lamp. Someone fired. Someone tried to stop the stranger. But where did they go? Why didn't they take the mask with them? Raheel slipped the mask into his jacket and walked quickly away from the station, checking every corner behind him. Every moving shadow made him flinch. Every passing car made him tense. By the time he reached home, his shirt was sticking to his back with sweat. His mum was asleep. Lights off. House quiet. He slipped into his room and shut the door behind him. For a long moment, he just sat at the edge of his bed, staring at the wall. What was happening? How was his father involved in some secret group? Why was someone chasing him now? He took out the photograph again. The one of his father and the two partners, Daniel Cross and Alina Ward. The words Project S09 glared back at him. Raheel tapped the corner of the photo, thinking. If he couldn't trust the masked stranger to stay safe, if someone was hunting him too, he needed answers somewhere else. The next morning. Sunlight crept through the curtains, but sleep never came to Raheel. His mind was still racing. He got up, splashed cold water on his face, and stared at himself in the mirror. You need to figure this out, he whispered to himself. No one else will. He grabbed his phone and opened the browser. Daniel Cross. Alina Ward. Project S09. He searched each name individually but nothing useful appeared. The names were too common or too buried. Then he tried, Project S09 Australia. This time, a result popped up. An old online article from a small, local newspaper, nearly 15 years old. The headline read, Government data breach suspected at research facility. Investigation closed abruptly. The article mentioned 3 research consultants involved in the project. Raheel's eyes widened. 3 people, like the 3 in the photo. His father. Daniel. Alina. The article didn't name them, but the timing matched his father's old job. Something wasn't right. Before he could dig deeper, his phone buzzed. An unknown number. Raheel hesitated, then answered. Hello. A crackling noise came through. Then a rushed whisper, Don't trust anyone. Not Daniel. Not Alina. Not anyone. It was the masked stranger's voice. Raheel shot up from his chair. You're alive. Where are you? What happened last night? The voice was weak, strained. Doesn't matter, just listen. Someone followed you home. Raheel froze. A chill ran down his spine. Followed, home? He looked at the window instinctively. The voice continued, You must find Daniel Cross, he knows what happened to your father. And he's closer than you think. Look for. Suddenly, shouting echoed through the phone. Footsteps. A loud crash. Then the line went dead. Raheel stared at his screen. Call ended. No message. No clue. The stranger was in danger. Again. And now Raheel was being watched. That afternoon. Raheel didn't go to uni. Instead, he took the photo of his father and the masked stranger's mask with him and left the house quietly. If Daniel Cross was the key, Raheel needed to find him. He started at the city records office. A dull building filled with grey walls, folders, and bored employees. He approached the front desk. "Hi, I'm looking for some old employment records." A man named Daniel Cross. The woman behind the computer raised a brow. "Do you have authorization?" "No," Raheel said, trying to stay calm. "But it's really important." She squinted at him. "Sorry love, can't help without clearance." Raheel sighed and stepped aside. As he walked out the door, someone brushed past him, a tall man in a blue coat. Raheel didn't think much of it, until the man turned back slightly. Just enough for Raheel to see his face. Stern eyes. Sharp jawline. A face matching the old photograph. Daniel Cross. Raheel's heart skipped a beat. Daniel walked briskly down the street, looking around like he was making sure no one followed him. Raheel took a shaky breath. This is it. He followed from a distance. Daniel turned left, then right, then into a narrow, quiet alley. Raheel followed. Only to find the alley empty. No Daniel. Just silence. Until a voice behind him said, "Why are you following me?" Raheel spun around. Daniel Cross stood there, arms crossed, eyes piercing into him like he could see right through his thoughts. Raheel swallowed. I need answers about my father." Daniel didn't blink. "What about him?" "You knew him," Raheel said. "You worked together on something called Project S09. For the first time, Daniel's expression changed. "Barely, but enough." He stepped closer. "Who told you that?" Raheel tightened his grip on the mask hidden in his pocket. "The truth is coming out," he said softly. "Someone tried to stop it last night." Daniel stared at him. Then he said something Raheel wasn't prepared for. "Your father didn't die. He was killed." Raheel gasped. The words struck him like a punch. Daniel continued, "And the person who killed him is still looking for you." Raheel's hands turned cold. He opened his mouth to speak. But a sudden roaring engine cut through the air. A black van screeched into the alley. The side door slid open. A masked man leaned out holding something metallic. A tranquilizer gun. Daniel shouted, "Get down!" A dart whizzed past Raheel's ear and hit the wall. Daniel grabbed Raheel's arm. "Run! Now!" They sprinted out of the alley as the van sped after them. Another dart fired. Raheel ducked. Daniel shoved him behind a dumpster. And then a dart hit Daniel in the shoulder. Daniel staggered. Eyes blinking rapidly. "Go!" he choked out. "No. I can't. Go!" The van screeched to a halt. 3 figures jumped out. Raheel had no choice. He ran. Heart pounding. Breath burning. Legs numb. He didn't look back. Not once. When he finally stopped, hiding between 2 buildings, he whispered, "Dad, what have you left for me?" And somewhere in the distance, Raheel heard the van door slam shut, and Daniel Cross's voice fading into silence.